The April meeting of the Bedrock Fan Club is now convened. Sorry, I know it feels that way. But you know, our job as wine merchants is to get you the best friggin' gear possible. And when someone's on a hot run, right? When someone's on a streak, then you need to acknowledge that and say, brother's killing it. That's what we do. So if there's like 6 wines from one dude that are like stupid, then we'll sell you 6 stupid wines from one dude, right? It won't be like, okay, the other 5 amazing wines, no. No, we're not going to do that. Now, here's the deal. I want to issue an apology for those of you that bought all that amazing Bedrock Old Hill Ranch Heritage wine. I thought that was going to be Morgan's top wine of the vintage, but a little bit of competition for that title in Morgan Twain Peterson's championship season. Yeah, wow. So this is Morgan's home team. Peterson family owns the Bedrock Vineyard. A lot of history here. Originally planted in the 1850s, ripped up by General Tecumseh Sherman. How about them apples, huh? Rock star. He planted in the 1850s. In the 1880s, it was replanted after the first round of phylloxera. Did you know there were at least two rounds of phylloxera in California? Well, let you know, there was some phylloxera in California, same time the French were getting beaten up by it. The vineyard was replanted in 1888. And what we know as the Bedrock Vineyard today is those 1888 plantings. Gorgeous site. Again, Zinfandel running the show. But here's the difference, right? We talked about in the Old Hill piece that every old vineyard site, every historic heritage type site, and we talked about in the video with Morgan, which you'll see on this offer today as well, if you would like. Each vineyard has this mojo, and some of it's soil, some of it's this, some of it's that, but a lot of it is those accompanying grape varieties. Which grape varieties are in that vineyard, which kind of push that vineyard along. Like in Pagani, there's a bunch of Alicante Bouschet. Great site. A lot of Alicante Bouschet. That wine's big and dark and, hey, how you doing? Now, in Old Hill, the difference was all that beautiful 120 plus year old Grenache. With the Bedrock Vineyard, the secret weapon today, folks, and it's a tricky secret weapon. That's why this wine isn't the best wine in Morgan's stable every year, maybe not, is the weapons here are Carignan and Mataro. Carignan and Mataro. Both grapes a bit more finicky, I would say, than Grenache on a year-to-year basis. So you are going to have some hills and swales in Morgan's Bedrock Vineyard with regards to the performance. Now, Morgan was very clear with us. He said, in 2023, the Carignan and Mataro in this site are some of the greatest Carignan and Mataro I've ever seen. And when you have perfectly right Carignan and Mataro, then you have those complexities from those varieties, but you have richness of fruit, you have concentration, you have color, you have power. So again, Zin is the main player here, but those 136-year-old Carignan and Mataro vines are kind of what give this wine its mojo and kind of what carries today. The 2023 Bedrock Vineyard is a historically great wine. All French oak here. We talked about that last time, I think. All French wood. A little bit new. He uses a little bit of new wood, but not a ton. You don't want to use a ton of new wood on Zinfandel. And one funny thing that we gleaned from conversations with him and what he's written down and such is he's talking about the connection between great old vine Zinfandel and great old vine Grenache, like in Chateauneuf in certain vintages, like a 2010 in Chateauneuf, where the wines have this like electricity and tension, but this richness of fruit to go along with it as well, which it doesn't happen in Chateauneuf all the time, and it doesn't happen with California Zinfandel all the time. Look at 2017. Look at 2022, some of these years where the wines get that porty, jammy character, and Grenache can do the same thing. But in these long, cool growing seasons, growing season extended, the Carignans, the Mataros, the Zinfandel achieving full physiological ripeness, you get, and it's not that far off. This wine could almost be like a doppelganger for a top flight, almost luxury cuvee Chateauneuf. It's pretty incredible, actually. Maybe it's just him inferring that. But yeah, you get it. There is a lot going on in this wine. The Old Hill is almost a touch more closed than the Bedrock is. And usually it's the other way around. The Bedrock can sometimes be a little tight early on. And today, the Bedrock is showy, showy, showy. How many showies? 4 or 5 showies at least. Guys, I mean, 23, what a season for Morgan. I mean, Zinfandel-based wines do not get better than this. And when I say don't get better, it's not because the wine is necessarily bigger, it's huge. Not because it's jammy or porty, it's not. The clarity, precision, and transparency of this wine in the context of the richness of fruit, only certain vintages can give you this. Stated alcohol 14.5. So all of you like, oh, I don't drink Zinfandel. F off, this wine has a % less alcohol than half the Cabernets in Napa Valley now. That is not the point. The point is greatness of individual site, which if you go back to the video and you watch my conversation with Morgan, you'll see that. There's a lot of discussion about greatness of individual site, the whole concept of heritage, the whole concept of a single vineyard. How can we save these vineyards? How can we work to preserve this heritage, like Ridge Geyserville, like Linton Springs, like all these famous sites. They have to be preserved. This is history. These are our Grand Crus. This is exquisite. All right, so Spectator tastes blind, right? And remember, the apology I want to extend to you as well is that I was like, man, the Old Hill, you know, if the 22 Old Hill got 97 points blind from Wine Spectator, God, you know, the 23 Old Hill is going to get like, you know, a billion. They ended up getting like 94. But you want to know which wine from the Bedrock stable did score the highest score ever for a Zinfandel in the history of Wine Spectator? Tying it with the 2022 Old Hill from Bedrock, the 2023 Bedrock Vineyard. 97 points from Wine Spectator. Their highest score ever for a bottle of Zinfandel. Look it up. I went all the way back to the 80s. How many, I should look, I'll put that in the piece, how many thousands of Zinfandels the Wine Spectator has reviewed in 40, 50 years. Number one, with a bullet. Oh, let's say bullet, is that insensitive? Like the Washington Wizards. Like, instead of Washington Bullets, Washington Wizards now. Number one, with the wizard. Maybe that. Incredible, incredible wine. Kudos, Morgan. I've had this wine like 3 times now, and each time I just can't stop. For some reason, I just can't stop drinking it. Yeah, we got about 20 cases in stock. $49.98. If you buy 6 or more, we'll give you 10% off. Shh, don't tell Morgan. Well, you can tell him because you're buying 6 bottles. He's cool with that. So $50 a bottle. Buy 6 or more, you get 10% off. That's pretty friggin' cool. You're going to want 6 bottles of this friggin' wine. You might even want 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. Hell, you might want 12. Brilliant stuff.